If this is your first one, no matter which one it is, welcome. Glad you're here with us. So, okay, I'm recording here. So you'll have access to this recording after today if you so choose. And then I will go ahead and share my screen and we will get started. All right, so correct me if I'm wrong, but this should be the workshop on Introduction to Screencastify. And it is from 9 to 10 today, so just have a short, quick hour here with you. And again, if you are just joining us here in the chat, you can copy and paste the link into your Omnibox. And if you haven't done this before, all you have to do is go over to chat, copy the bit.ly link, and then go to a new tab in the Google Chrome web browser and then paste the bit.ly link in there. So then what this allows you to do is to have access to it after today. If you want, you can save this to your drive or you can bookmark it. Again, it depends on your style of organization. If you do want to save this to your drive, all you have to do is come up here to this triangle with the plus sign. That means to add this shortcut to your Google Drive. If you don't use Google Drive, that's fine. You could bookmark it. But first here, if you do use Google Drive, when you click on Add Shortcut to Drive, you can put this in your drive if you so choose. If you have your drive organized, if you click on that arrow right there, you can put it in the folder that you want to put it in. If you don't have a folder here already created, you can come here to the new folder, create a new folder, and then add shortcut here. If you don't use Google Drive and you just bookmark your this slide deck, then all you have to do is come up here and click on the star. When you click on the star, it turns blue and it bookmarks it. I'm going to have it bookmarked to my bookmark bar. Could I put it in other places? I could. So here it's on my bookmark bar. Again, if your bookmark bar isn't showing, come up here to the 3 dots to the right of your profile and you can go to bookmarks, show your bookmark bar. Again, if you do need help with that and have questions, I can help you at the end. Then once you are in here, then slide 2 has you signing in for today's workshop. So the sign-in sheet will have to match our evaluations. If we would get audited from ISB, you will get a ISB evaluation. Then once you fill that out, then you will get your professional development hours that you can enter into your LS account. So here's the sign-in sheet. When you go into the sign-in sheet, click on that, and it should look like this. Fill this out. If you don't see your district name and number here, I think there's a couple different places where you can mark other. And I don't know, yeah, as of right now, we don't have a place for you to type in the district you're from, just to mark other right now. And then the sign-in sheet, then here you've got an evaluation, if you could fill that out at the end as well. So again, you might hear me reference this as a slide deck. It's very similar to Microsoft PowerPoint. And the Microsoft PowerPoint is a presentation, this Google Slides is a presentation, but within Google Slides, sometimes you hear people call it the slide deck. And it's just, you know, the slides here within Google Slides. My name is Lisa Schwartz. And a little bit about me is I did teach 19 years in the Quincy Public Quincy Public Schools. And then the last 2 years I have been working for the Learning Technology Center. And right now I do work with 10 ROEs here in Central Illinois and the school districts within those ROEs. My main job responsibility is providing professional development to educators and administrators around technology. If you need to get a hold of me, here's my email address, and then you can check out the LTC web page as well. If you haven't heard of the Learning Technology Center before, here on slide 4, that talks about our mission. And then here on slide 5, I've also got some links here to go into the LTC. I also have a link to the YouTube channel, or my YouTube channel that will have the recording on it after today. So we are going to talk about Screencastify. Again, if you can help me out in the chat, if there's a lot of people with the same question, if someone sees that and can let me know, hey, Lisa, can you go over something again, please let me know. If not, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat if you would like, and feel free to use the chat to communicate with other members of this group here that's with us today. So Screencastify, basically what it is it will allow you to record your screen, whether you are doing, you have a picture of yourself there in the bottom of the screen or the top of the screen, or you just record your voice. So teachers can use it, students can use it. I will show you some examples of how you can use Screencastify, but especially during remote learning, some teachers have used it to record themselves, to discuss different lessons out there, to show kids how to do some things so that the kids could do it on their own time. Because as you got to experience here during remote learning, some students weren't working on the work during the day. They might have had to wait until the evening, until their parents came home, or some students didn't really work on any work until maybe when they realized they needed to turn something in a day or two before the end of the school year. So what this allows you to do is, for the students, when they need to know it, they can refer back to the screencast. Again, can students use Screencastify? They can. They can record presentations and demonstrations. They can even reflect on their writing and reflect on visuals that they have on their screen. Do they have to show their screen when they are using Screencastify? No, they can just record their voice as well. If you go to Screencastify here, if you click on this link, screencastify.com, this will give you more resources and more information about Screencastify. So feel free to do that. I do want to let you know, I don't know if I'll get through all of these slides and I'll during this presentation today, because I will go to another tab to show you Screencastify, but I do want to give you all of the slides here so that you have them for reference. Why do I do that? It's just for differentiation. We all learn differently. Some of you may be going ahead in the slide deck, and that is perfectly fine, because that's how you learn and you want to see what is all there. Here on slide 8, here's some other examples of Screencastify. So let me just show you using Google Jamboard. So what Google Jamboard is it's another app. Do you have to use it? You don't. But if you click on it, it's kind of like a whiteboard. And on this Jamboard, then, what I've done is I added fractions. And instead of me just turning this in, so if I was a student, and instead of me just turning this in to show you that, hey, yeah, I know how to add fractions, I can do a screencast of this so that you can see, yes, I do understand how to add fractions. And another thing, even though I may be turning this into you, to the teacher explaining how to add fractions, you then could take the screencast and recording and push it out into Google Classroom so other students can see, here's how a student added fractions and here's how they explained it. And this might help other students learn about it. Because one big thing as a classroom teacher that I always faced was finding the time to create all of this work. And anytime I could have students help me create the screencaster videos and push them out for other students to see, that saved me time, and time that maybe I didn't have to create that. So if I wanted to, here's the Jamboard, and again, if you're new and haven't used Jamboard before, all you have to do is, if you come over here, I've got a pen eraser. I've got the select tool. I've got all of my other tools over here. So if I click on the pen, when I click on the pen, I can choose whatever color I want. I'll just choose black right here. And then as a student, I could just put down, I can use my mouse or the trackpad to put down maybe the problem here that I need to solve, and then I can explain it. So I'm just using my mouse here to put a problem here maybe that I have to solve. So, and then instead of just putting it down the answer right here, then I can do a Screencastify. So I'm going to kind of work backwards today a little bit and go ahead and jump in and show you how to do a screencast, and then I'm going to go back and explain what all you can do in Screencastify. So if I come up here to Screencastify, I've already added it to my extensions. So I click on Screencastify, and then it brings up this. Then I have a choice. Do I want to record just this browser tab? Do I want to record my desktop? So everything here, including all of the tabs, or do I just want my webcam only? So I'll do browser tab. I've embedded webcam. Microphone, I've got to make sure my microphone's on. And then when I'm ready, all I have to do is record. And then it does a countdown for me. I don't know if you see that on your end. And then now it's recording. Up here on the extension bar, you can see that it's recording because it has the red circle there. So then, oh, I've got two different monitors here. So if I turn on my other monitor, that's the one that's recording for the screencast here. I think there's a way I can switch over which camera I want to use to record. But again, most students will only have one camera that they're recording from. And then again, if this was me explaining the problem, I could, instead of just putting the answer here, I could explain, okay, so when I'm adding fractions, I know the denominator always stays the same. So if I come down here, the denominator will be 6. And then I want to add the numerators. The numerators are always the top numbers. And if I add 3 plus 1 is 4. And then even if I want to go to a step further, I can reduce the fraction because I know 4/6 can be reduced down. 2 goes into both 4 and 6. So my new and simplest form here is 2/3. And then when I'm done recording, or if I need to explain anything else, talk about it, and then just I can come up here and then stop my recording. So that's basically, creating a screencast. It's as simple as that. Just you explaining whether it's a math problem or even just talking to the students about a lesson. Right here, so right away, what this does is it is saving to my Google Drive. If I want to replay it, right now it's replaying, I can click unmute and listen to myself. If I want to come up here, I want to make sure that I give it a title. And then if I need to edit the video for any reason, I can come up over here to open an editor, and I can trim out the beginning, the end. I can go and crop it. If you're not familiar with the video editing, if you haven't done that before, all I have to do is open up an editor. It won't let me right now because it's still saving to the drive. But if for some reason I look at this video and I don't like it, I want to do it again, I can come over here and hit delete, delete it, and then start again. I will tell you, teachers and students alike, they will think that this maybe has to be perfect in the beginning when they're working with this. Hopefully over time they'll realize they don't have to do several takes on recording themselves. Again, they don't have to show the webcam, and I'll talk more about some of the different options here. But so once it does save to my Google Drive, I can get the shareable link if I want. And if I click on more options with that shareable link right here, it's automatically set to private, but I can put it to public, unlisted, or unlisted or public within my own school domain. So if you are familiar with the Google Apps for Education, it's very similar to how you can make things public, or you can share things and give them editing rights or viewable rights. Very similar, and especially if you do use YouTube, this is similar to YouTube as well. But if you don't panic. You'll learn as you go, and don't be hard on yourself about not knowing everything in the beginning, because with technology, things are always changing. They're adding things, pushing things out there for you. If I come down here, so with, once I've done the screencast, whether it's me, the teacher, or the student, I can come down here. I can share this out to the classroom. I can upload this to Edpuzzle, share to a Wakelet. If I go here to more options, I can publish it to my YouTube channel, send in an email, get an embed code. So various ways, it makes it easy for us to share the screencast. I can look at more share options. And then one thing down here where it says download, I could just go ahead and download this. I can export it as an MP4 or just export audio only. And then one other option you have is a export animated GIF. So if you see sometimes someone have like a picture, but it's moving, this is what they've done. They've just animated it. They export animated GIF, and then they share it out that way. So lots of different options to learn about here. If you don't see some of these share options here, if you go, I think it's under, if I go back here to screencast, if I go under my gear, and nope, it's under one of these that you can turn them on or off. Maybe it's under options. Yeah. So where did I go? I went here to my extension, and then I went to the 3 lines. So again, if you are familiar and use the Google apps out there, know that, anytime you see a gear or 3 lines, that there's other options there. So right here, I went to the 3 lines and I went to options. And here's where I can turn on and off some of the other options out there. So do I want notifications? Where do I want my videos to save? I have them automatically saved to my Google Drive. If I don't use Google Drive, I can save it to my local device. So you have some options there. Here's some keyboard shortcuts, recording settings, and here's the privacy, and then the advanced section as well. So I would say take a look at that. And I think the more you experience Screencastify, the more you'll try out some of these things. All right, so let me kind of go back a little bit here. I do have the example of using Screencastify and Jamboard here that you can access later. I also have it where you can, again, if you want to just leave a message and, share that out with your students, you can do that. Here's a daily journal example using Google Slides where students can write in there, but then also students can do a screencast of it and talk about their daily journal. They can turn in an exit ticket, record a review lesson for the class. So again, here's some examples. I will give you some other links and resources for a plethora of other examples out there, how you can use it in your class. So I'm going to jump back here to the slide deck, and on slide 9, so with Screencastify, like I said earlier, you could capture just a tab. If I just wanted one tab up here for everyone to see instead of my whole screen, I could do that. Again, I could do the whole screen or webcam only. So if I don't have anything to show on my screen and I just want to talk to them, give them a message, I can turn on my webcam. Again, I can embed my webcam anywhere in the recording, and then just make sure your microphone is turned on. So when I came up here to my Screencastify extension, this is where I have access over all of this. If for some reason I want to turn off my microphone, I can turn that off. If you do have multiple different cameras, if I click on that down arrow, here's my different cameras that I can have it pull from if I don't want it pulling from one particular one. And then if I go to show more options, I have my countdown from 3 seconds. I could do it, I think, 5 or 10 seconds. I've got the drawing tools. I haven't talked about those yet. And then the tab audio, what that is, each of the tabs that you have here have their own audio. So if I right click on here, I can mute this site here so that, you know, if for some reason I can get notifications on here and I don't want that sound on there, I can mute the site here or just make sure I have it turned off over here. So you might, if you're new to using Google Chrome and using extensions, you might say, well, where is she getting this extension from? How do you get the Screencastify extension? If you go to the Chrome Web Store, I've got it bookmarked up here, but if I go to the Chrome Web Store, if you go to chrome.google.com, it'll take you, and /web store, it'll take you to the web store. This is where you can add extensions, and right here you can also add themes to your Google Chrome profile. So if you see some people have different background themes on their Google Chrome, this is where they get it from the web store, and you've got extensions and themes. So if I go to extensions and I search for Screencastify, here's the extension. Now, if you go to the Chrome Web Store and you can't access this, my suggestion, try your personal account. Most school districts don't let teachers add extensions to their Chrome web browser. That it usually comes through an administrator or the tech person at your district, that they have control of what extensions they push out. So again, if you don't, if you can, and that's normal, most school districts push it out through the tech person or the administrator, and to add the extension. So go to your personal account to look up the Chrome Web Store and look up Screencastify. And then once you find an extension you like, all you have to do is here, add it to Chrome. Usually it might ask you that it needs control of your Google Drive. It may, need some other information. So you usually have to accept it if you do want to add that to your extension. And that's why usually teachers aren't allowed to push out extensions, because on the back end, the administrator, the tech person has to verify that what data this extension is collecting and make sure it's COPA and SOPA compliant. So, and then this talks about what the extension does. So feel free to take a look at this. And then another thing I look at when I look at extensions out there, I look to see how many users there are, and sometimes I look at the reviews of that extension, especially if it's a fairly new extension out there. I do try to look it up to see, how this might help me. One thing I haven't showed you yet is there are annotation tools. So when you are doing the screencast, you can do a mouse spotlight. So it kind of points out where you are on the screen. You also, again, have a drawing pen tool. And it looks like for some reason, this drawing pen tool right here, it stayed on my screen. I want to restart to get rid of that, but I don't want to take time right now and lose this presentation here, or maybe lose time during this short hour that I have with you. I also have an eraser, so if I do write on my my slide deck or screen, I can go back and erase something. I can hide my cursor if I don't want my cursor to be shown, and then I can highlight click so you can see what I'm clicking on. So if I go back here to do a screencast, I'll show you these annotation tools here. And I go to record. All right, so I'm recording here. I'll turn on my webcam over there. Right down here in the bottom left-hand corner, here's all of the annotation tools that I have. I've got this focus mouse. So here's what, if I want you to pay attention to this or highlight something here, I can do the focus mouse there. If I want to hide the cursor when moved. So my suggestion, play around with this, click on these different buttons and tools to see what they do. Here's the pen option. So again, I can change the color of my pen if I want, and I can write right on my screen. I don't even have to, be in Google Jamboard. I can write right on my screen on the slide deck. If I don't want that, I can go and hit the eraser and then erase it. Okay. If I haven't embedded the webcam, I can come down here to embed it. I can pause this recording at any time. I can clear the whole screen right here by wiping the screen clear. So during this time of remote learning, I am finding that some of these extensions or apps out there, they're pushing out new tools. So again, today you might be seeing some of these tools. Who knows, in a week or 2 months from now, Screencastify might have pushed out some more tools for this extension. So I can just click that X to hide it if I want. Up here, again, I can come up here and then stop it. And then it replays. As you can see, it's adding to my Google Drive. So I'm going to just go ahead and delete it for right now. Okay. So then I can see in my Screencastify extension, I can see all of my recordings here. Another place that I can see all of my recordings is in my Google Drive. So let me go back here to slide 10. So on the back end, this is why you have to give Screencastify permission to access your Google Drive, because what it does is it will save directly to your Google Drive. Again, under the settings options, you saw where if you don't want it to save to Google Drive, you can save it to a local drive that you tell it to, but the default is your Google Drive. And then as soon as you have the screencast, you can, once it's downloaded, you can go ahead and share it right away or upload it to YouTube, push out screencast to your Google Classrooms, and I can show you how to do that. But let me go to my Google Drive then and show you on the back end of how it saves to your Google Drive. All right, you guys are saying I have an unstable internet connection. Okay. Let me connect to my hotspot then. Thanks for letting me know. Has it been going on this whole time or just here recently? Thanks for your patience right now. Okay, is that any better? Okay, if not, please someone tell me to unmute and, or you unmute and let me know, and I can try something else as well. My apologies here. So I went into my Google Drive. What I've done up here is the apps or some of these tabs up here that I go to multiple times throughout the day, I pin them so I don't accidentally close them. How do you pin a tab? If I right click here and hit pin, I pin the tab, and as you can see, it doesn't have the title up there, but then it doesn't have the X as well, so I can't accidentally close out of it. If I want to unpin it at any time, I can unpin it, but I keep my Google Drive pinned up here. This is just my quick and easy way to go to it. Do you have to? No, you don't. Some people bookmark their drive up here to access it that way as well. But if I go into my Google Drive and I come down here to my Screencastify folder, I did not create that folder. As soon as I added the extension Screencastify, let me, you know what? I think it's showing my screencast is still recording. I think that's the big problem, is me using Zoom and trying to use Screencastify at the same time, that it's taking up too much bandwidth. I'm going to turn off my Screencastify for a second to see, because I think that's what got hung up here. All right. Okay, so right back here on my drive, then it automatically puts in this drive all of my screencasts that I've done. Can I create a folder within this folder? I can. So if I do a screencast of math lessons or of science lessons, or certain topics within those subjects that I teach, I can do that, and I can organize the files that way as well. But as soon let's say if I forgot to name one of my screencasts, all I have to do is, let's see one that I haven't named. So if I don't name them, they put the date there. And if I right click on one of them, I can just go here to rename, and I can rename the file. So if this one was talking about the Google Level 1, I can put Google Level 1 and hit OK. And then so it'll rename it, and then it'll alphabetize it for me within my Google Drive. Is the internet connection still okay? Yeah, okay, thank you. Within your Google Drive, if you do share the screencast out and you're not sharing it out through YouTube, or you're sharing it out through your folder, make sure you do change your permissions on your folder and your drive. How do you do that? If I go back here to my drive and I go to my folder, a couple different ways. If I go down here to my Screencastify, do you see how this one has a person in it and this one doesn't? How do I do that? Right click on that folder, and then I can go here, I can share it or get shareable link. And if I go to share, I changed it where it says get link. Anyone on the internet with this link can view. So if I click change, I have some options here. So if I want only people within my domain, my Google domain, so usually your school district, to access this, I could just change it to that. If I don't mind and I want anyone with the link, I can put anyone with the link. And then over here, once someone has that link, what can they do with the files? So for the most part, I want them to just be able to view them. But if I wanted, to share this out with someone to help me organize, add, or edit files, I can make them editor. But again, if you do make someone editor of one of your folders, they have the rights to organize your folder how they so choose. They can add things and they can edit any files in that folder. So then just, if you are sharing the screencast out based, from the folder, make sure that you've adjusted the shareable permissions on that folder. Again, you right click here, you can go to share or get shareable link, and you can change it however you would like. And even, if you put it where you're testing out that you're sharing it with another coworker and you're giving them the editing rights, and then afterwards you see you don't like how they're organizing or what they're adding to it, you can always go back and change them to only viewers if you so choose. Earlier, I think I talked about the app smash library. So right now, what, if you've ever heard the term app smashing, is that some of these different apps or extensions work together with other extensions or apps out there. So this is fairly new, where that, you know, we used to just be able to push these screencasts out to Google Classroom and YouTube and through email, and now they're allowing you to work with Edpuzzle, Wakelet, and Remind. So again, if you don't use those apps, you don't need to know about this, but if you do, you will need to go and turn these on as well. You might be asking, you know, is there a cost to this? There is a free version, and then there is a premium version. I've worked with teachers who only have the free version, and you know, you might say, oh, I can only record up to 5 minutes per video. Well, this makes the students and you think about what you want to say in your video if you only have 5 minutes. And if you think about it, anytime you learn something new or watch a video, would you want to watch a long video? So I know when I have to learn about something or, you know, learn something new, and I need to go and look for a video for it, I do a filter and I try to find videos that are actually less than 5 minutes long. So again, some of you might be saying, oh, you know, I can only do the free version, but I only get up to 5 minutes per video. Really, if you think about that, that's not so bad. Because, you know, do you want to listen to a student for 20, 30 minutes explaining something? Maybe you do. So if you do, make sure then you get the premium version so that you have over the 5 minutes. But you can even trim videos on the free version. But if you want full editing rights, you would need the unlimited version. But again, you can see the difference, see what works for you. My suggestion right now, if you want to try the premium, you can for free until June 30th. They may have extended it, I'm not for sure, but if on slide 20, if we want to jump down to slide 20, here's a coupon code you can put in, and right now they had said until June 30th. I know some other apps and extensions, they've extended that. I don't know if Screencastify has, but if you want to try the premium version, you do have until the end of the month to try it for free. Here on slide 14, I've got some other links here. If you want to use this with your students and your students haven't used this before and you think, oh, do I have to teach my students this? You don't. If you go to this link right here, there is a Master the Screencast Junior where kids can start this course. And again, this is free. And students, if they start the course, click on this. And they've got some videos over here to watch. Again, if you see the videos are short. I'm Holly. And then there's a quiz for them to take at the end. Same thing for you as a teacher. If you want to become a master screencaster, I think they call it, there are some links out there for you too. Let me see if it's under Screencastify webinars. There's webinars if you want to learn more about using Screencastify. And then there was a place, maybe under courses. Yeah, right here. So if you want to become a master the screencast, get started here. It gives you an estimated length of 60 minutes. Again, what I like about this, if you're interested in this, a lot of the videos are less than 5 minutes. Again, so you can start and stop them at, you know, you can, if you have time, you can start, you know, looking at lesson 1, and then you can come back when you have more time to do lesson, the unit 2 here. And it gives you how many lessons are in each of them, and then the time it takes. Also, after Master the Screencast, if you really like this Master the Screencast, you can become a Screencastify Certified Genius. So I don't know if you've been seeing people putting these different badges in their email signature, and this is how they're getting the badges from right here. Again, the big thing right now is privacy. You know, what kind of data does Screencastify collect? Are they compliant? If you click on privacy here, this talks about the privacy. And then also right here, we've got a link to the frequently asked questions. So again, hopefully this will help you share this information if this is something that you would like to do, to share it with your tech admin or your administrators. So it gives you all of the information there. Again, the cost, it goes into more detail here. And then here's a link for a coworker created a Ignite Creativity book, so feel free to check that out as well. Here on slide 15, here's some other lesson ideas out there. Again, one thing hopefully you are realizing is you don't have to be the creative one to think of all of these ways you can use this in your classroom. Sometimes kids know about some of these apps and extensions out there. If you give them choice, then hopefully you can even learn from the students and what they can do with some of these apps and extensions out there as well. But again, if you click on the Screencastify, here's, and this is on their webpage here, 25 ways to use Screencastify. A lot of great information here and great ways you can use it in the classroom and examples. So if you look here at the table of contents, here's, they've got it broken down by the different apps that you can use Screencastify with. It, you know, does go back into more Google Slides, how, you know, the kids can use Google Slides and then do a screencast. So again, my suggestion, if you want to learn more, take some time to look at this. I mean, this is hours upon hours of information here. And then again, I've got a link here about classroom resources. So if you go to the Screencastify website, again, you'll find everything there. I do have it linked here in the slide deck for you. Here's even a beginner's guide to Screencastify. So feel free to take a look at that. If not, if you want to skip that, you can skip that and just go ahead and jump in to becoming a master the screencast. Here's another free download, 50 ways to use Screencastify in the classroom. And then there's webinars. So it depends on how you learn. If you like to learn from videos, lots of videos here. If you don't like to learn from videos, there's other ways. They've shared this slide deck as a PDF file for you to learn that way. I'll stop for a moment here and see if there's any questions. Again, I know if some of you have been typing questions in here. I don't know if anybody's been able to answer any of the questions people are asking, but are the webinars free? I just see that question right there, and they are. Screencastify offers all of this for free. Again, they want you to use their tool, and then hopefully maybe someday, pay a subscription fee to use it. But do you have to? No, you can use a lot of the features for free out there. And my apologies for having the lag here in the beginning. Is there anything in the beginning that you want me to cover? Again and again, I know there are some questions out there. Oh, great question, Casey. So she's asking, what do I like about Screencastify versus other screen recording apps or software? I don't know necessarily, here on slide 21, I've got some other screencast tools out there that you can use. Screencastify is the one that I started to use, and I've stuck with it because I like what it does. It meets my needs. But there certainly are some other ones out here. I don't have any, I've used the Google Meet that I can record on Google Meet and record a tab as well. I just didn't have the tools that I did in Screencastify. Do I have other tools that I could use? I do. I don't have a preference over one or the other. I've just noticed with a lot of school districts out there, they have been using Screencastify. Anybody used other tools out there? You want to unmute yourself and help answer Casey's question? Okay. So we've got some people putting in chat some other options, what they've used. So even if you don't want to use Screencastify, the website there has a lot of resources that I did put in this slide deck that you can refer to give you ideas. And again, some of these resources you can even share out with the kids to show them, here's some other examples of people using, you know, a Screencastify or, you know, other tools out there to do screencasts to record themselves, and see if, you know, that helps them to be creative and gives them ideas of what they could do for some of the assignments that you have. Okay. So yes, someone had said how it integrates with Google Classroom. I don't have the knowledge if all of these others integrate with Google Classroom, but yeah, that's a good point, how it integrates with Google Classroom. Let me turn my Screencastify extension back on, and let's see. If I still lag, please let me know. So if I go ahead and record a video, right from the recording, I could put it to Google Classroom. Let me switch over to my Google Drive and see if I can do that so I don't lag. So here I'm pulling up a video, and I must be too large. It's taking too long. Let me pull this one up here. All right. It's not wanting to cooperate. So let me just go back here and I'll see if I go ahead and hit record. And I'll just do it for a few seconds here, and then when it's done recording, when I stop it, so as soon as the recording is uploaded, then I can hit share to classroom. And so again, like someone had said, how it integrates with Google Classroom. Right here, I don't have to open up a new tab. I just hit share to classroom right from the video. And when I did that, it opened up a new tab for me. Here I can choose the class that I want to share it with. And then I can choose the action. So based off of this video, let me create the assignment and hit go. And then I've got the title. I can have the title of the video that I named it. If I want to put instructions here, I can. And then right here, it just attaches the file for me. So it saves me some time. Again, when I assign something here in Google, I can put a due date, put the points. When I'm ready, I can push it out and hit assign, and it pushes it out and assigns this for the classroom. I can go here to view. So I don't have to actually go over to my Google Classroom and go to classwork, hit create assignment. So it saves me a few clicks by integrating within Google Classroom right here. One other thing here, I have slides, 16 through 19, or 16 through 19. Screencastify Submit. This is in beta. You could become a beta tester. What it means is they haven't pushed it out for everyone yet. They're wanting teachers to test it to see, the struggles, the hiccups, the things they like before they push it out. And what this allows is you don't have to have an extension. Here's where I've got a link here where you can sign up to test it out. Again, here's some ideas to use Screencastify Submit. Right now, if you want to try it out, it is free until June 30th. But again, there's going to be a free version and a paid version. And slide 18 and 19 here just kind of walks you through what the Screencastify Submit and the beta version, what it looks like, that you can create an assignment here in Google Classroom or any other LMS that you may use out there. Same thing, all videos are saved in Google Drive. And again, it could be screen only or webcam only. And then here's the steps. You can configure your settings, name your assignment, and then push it out. Your assignment is live. So again, if for some reason your school district won't let you have the Screencastify extension, check out the Screencastify Submit. I'm going to, I think, end there for now and take more questions if you have it. But, the biggest thing with all of this technology that you're learning, that hopefully, I'll leave you with this quote by Maya Angelou. I did then what I knew how to do. Now that I know better, I do better. So hopefully that learning about all of these tools will help you and your students have more choice in the classroom and realize that it's okay not to know everything there is to know about all of the apps and extensions out there, that maybe you can have your students even show you some extensions and apps and how they think they could use it for assignments. So here on slide 23, we've got the evaluation. If you want to fill that out and submit that. And then if you didn't get signed in or have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, ask away. I know some people have asked questions in the chat. Again, feel free to unmute yourself and ask away, and or I can kind of look at the chat right now too and try to answer some of those as well. But appreciate your time here with us today.
Hi.